Agud Moed Raboisai. Lili nishmasi mimero sirus vasmorchai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagofen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushon tzeisav tzivanu leishev basukah. To take away from a chashad. The halacha is, unlike yesterday, since I made a gofen on this, you drink this without a bracha. So thanks for all the emails. Thanks for all the aras. It's true. A little bit. It's fine. Rabbi Yisai, welcome to the sukkah. For me, it's probably my favorite yontif, if you could say such a thing. Such a geschmack sitting here in Eretz Yisrael in a sukkah, very decent weather. Yesterday, we had a little bit of a scare, and I think it was just to remind us of what Achenu B'nai New York went through. I don't know if you're aware, with the flooding that they had, one of the worst rains ever. I don't think they were zayich to sit in the sukkah. And as Shiur was starting, it started to drizzle, just for a minute, literally for a minute, just to remind us. So, yishkoyach to all the guests. Yishkoyach, I have to say yishkoyach to Belsky Novak, who put together the entire breakfast. And he's one of the only tour guides in our neighborhood that has a 15-passenger van. I said that he had a van from Hatzlocha, which is true. Hatzlocha, when they get rid of their vans, they get the new one, they give it to the top guys. But now he has a brand new van, Rabbi, brand new, and he's on his way to Yerushalayim picking up. So he did the breakfast. It's unbelievable. He did the breakfast and ran away. So he does this. I can't thank him. Huh? He's a very, very big tzaddik. Hey, Belsky is a big tzaddik. Hey, Belsky is a big tzaddik. Oy, oy. Okay, yishkoyach. So thank you very much, Belsky, for the beautiful breakfast. Somebody I have to say Akar Satayv to, who's not going to hear this, but I have to say it anyway, to my wife. My wife puts up a lot with me during the year. And on Sukkot especially, she can't come out of her room and her Dalet Amas for many hours until the Olam leaves, so yishkoyach to her. It's going to be over. And perhaps the Olam was saying that maybe next year we should just do it next to MDY in a larger place and whatever. It'll be more convenient, so we'll see. This might be one of the last times we're doing it in our Sukkah. Yishkoyach to her, yishkoyach to Nechemi Seltzer again, yishkoyach to Tomer. And we have a big privilege of having with us. I'm not going to go through all the guests because we have a lot of guests. Yesterday we had a Rav from Tveria that's with us from Brachas, and he drove in. And today we also have somebody from Brachas. Where is he? Who's with us that's a guest? Shalom Aleichem. What's your name again? Bob Lippman from Brachas, all the way from Brachas. It's beautiful. And we have a tremendous zchus of having with us the Belsky family, Zevi and Motti Belsky, who... Cheermarket.com. That's right. We have tremendous akars to talk to them for the cheers that their family donated. We have akars to talk to Motti for donating Kiddushin, Mesechtes Kiddushin. It's tremendous chus to have them with us in the sukkah. And without further ado, I want to read a couple of emails here. This is from Shoshana Frank. Dear Reb Eli, I'm sure that you're aware that most emails sent to you are written by your Talmidim. However, I write to you as a proud wife of one of your Talmidim. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for changing our lives. My husband of 11 years has learned more in the past 2 years than his entire marriage and maybe his adult life, solely because of your shiur. He's a changed person and has added many other shiurim to his daily routine, such as Smichas Chaver program. He currently is always looking to step up his learning. We're so happy and grateful for the impact you have made on our daily lives. I'm currently in RBS, just for Sukkot. I would love to meet your wife in person for MDY Ladies Shiur Coffee would be great. I forgot to mention this to my wife, but I'm sure you can find her somewhere in the back of the house hiding with the Einiklach. You're invited. I understand that you're super busy, but I would love something for the proud wives. If meeting your wife or ladies shiur is not feasible, may I suggest if you can make a hat or magnet that says, a proud wife of MDY. That was my idea, and it's actually in production for the Shabbaton, which is happening in a month. Tomer, don't we have something like that? Less than a month, but what do we have that says my husband is MDY? It's a surprise. It's not a magnet. It's more than a magnet. Yeah. Okay. Because I think I'm not alone as a proud wife, and many women are proud of their husbands. You changed our lives for the better, and we're so grateful for everything, all our things. Shoshana, Gabel, Morty's wife, Gable. Shana Frank Gable. You know what she is? All right. Oh, the guy in the back. Oh, okay. Rabbi Isai, Adam Singer, who sits to my left. When you're looking at the video screen, he's a Chaya, he sits all the way in the front, under the screen. So he took some drone shots yesterday, and I would like to share them with you so the Olim in America can understand what's going on. So we live on the top floor of this building, and you could also see, not that I'm whatever, just a lot of people want to know what's going on. So we live on this floor. This is the 4th floor. We also have the 5th floor, and you probably could see that we raised it up. This is what we were busy with, the construction this year. We raised up the roof. You can see there's 3 buildings that are identical, and one of them, my neighbor, also raised the roof, and the 3rd one, you can see it's lower down. So because we were able to raise it, we are going, Beis Hashem, to move in there. What? Yeah. The mayor. Which one? All right. Here we go. Oh, I have buttons here. Hold on a second. Let me show you. Very interesting. Now, also, you'll see a little bit of the park. This is an amazing park, which goes many blocks. It's thousands of feet long. And here you go. This is a little bit of RBS if you want to see. Here it goes. That is the sukkah. Now, the little part of the sukkah, the right top corner is where I learn. I stole it from my porch, and it's not a sukkah. That's why there's a piece of plastic on it, etc. RBS. You see that long road to the left? The park is the length of that entire road. It's beautiful. Look where we live. In Mamish, we live in beauty. It's all not Latisha Kabim. That's the park across the street. You can see it right over here. I told him that tomorrow I want to see a video going from our sukkah to MDY, which is just up the block. Mandy, Tasari Tova, let me control the videos. I don't need yours. Leon, this is what I go through every day. You need to get Nachman's Nishda. You step it up. He's sitting to my right now. Yeah. Baruch Hashem. The Moed is going. Very good. At least he's Moed. Also, Rabbi Isai, don't forget to take a bite of your bagel every once in a while, so you're not over Chas v'Shalom on 70 minutes of. Oh, my Chashva's son-in-law is in the background. Mayor Jacobs, he just went inside. No, I'm pulling him in here. All right, fine. You had enough of this? Now you see what it's like? Boom. We're sitting in this sukkah right here. Beautiful. Oh, no, it gets better. Mendy, look at this. Look, you can see that's Gimel all the way in the distance, and Dalet is to the right top, right corner. Okay. Oh, it says like this. This is one of the original shiurim. He says this 3 years ago. I don't believe it. He says like this. It just occurred to me that tomorrow night, Wednesday morning RBS time, is now 3 full years since the first official MDY public shiur took place in the United States. Photo attached. Photo taken by Mayor Jacobs. Oh, really? Mayor took that picture? Mayor, get over here. You really took this picture? No, seriously, I didn't chap that it's, okay. Picture from right to left. Avro Meir Farkovitz, Osher Zelig Farkovitch, Kalman of the 5 Towns, David Gladstone, Admor Shlita, Eli Dykman, and Avi Sherman. In reference to what you said, that all people in Shidduchim belong in the Meshugoyim house, the Satmar Rebbe Zitzal said that when it comes to Shidduchim, Hashem takes away your seichel. You have to thank Him that He gives it back to you after you get married. And now, Rabbi Isai, this is straight from Manchester, from Shimi Leaf and Sukkah, Gidmoy Rebelli, saving up for the big Shabbaton. So here is our breakfast on a budget, no Castell, family Leafman. I don't know if you can hear it.
It's one of these stories here about everybody.
Okay. Here's a picture that Eli Belsky, who's playing the keyboard, took of me yesterday. And pancakes. Okay, you can't really see, but there's a bunch of pictures there. And finally, from Baruch Geffen, Shalom Aleichem, he's here with us. Rabbi Isai, Baruch Geffen is here. Where are you, Reb Baruch? Stand up. You look like a Rosh Koilel. Are you? My name is Baruch Geffen from RBS. I'm also listening to Yashir on Zoom almost every morning on the bus to work. You hear this? On the bus to work, he watches on Zoom. Since Yevam's Daf Daled. Okay. It says Amud Aleph. On Fridays, I stopped coming to MDY so that my kids could see me learning in the house. Wow. Our loss. You spoke yesterday about moving to Eretz Yisrael and you shouldn't move with kids at a certain age. So let me just, because Donnie Fine, the real estate broker, he sent me a very long voice note. He says, you have to jump into Eretz Yisrael and believe that because Baruch is going to take care of you and everything. So I said, yeah, but you have to know what you're up against. If you know what you're up against, great. But if you can't, just say, a lot of people say, I heard this many times, I don't know what I'm going to do for Parnasa. It's going to be okay. I don't think that's the right attitude. And also with the kids, you have to, so listen to this very strong lashon. He spoke, I have a ma'isa that I witnessed with Rav Bulman, Zeichet Tzadik Levracha. When I was learning Nar Samech 24 years ago, at the time, Rav Bulman Zal was a Meshgiach those days. I witnessed a case where a student came to the Rav and told him, Rebbe, Baruch Hashem, my family and I made Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael. Rav looked at him and asked with a half a smile and said, very nice. How old are your kids? The guy answered, 10, 14, 16. Rav Bulman Zatzal replied back, take whatever you have and go back to where you came from. The guy looked puzzled and said, but Rebbe, Eretz Yisrael, the Holy Land, great place to bring up my kids. I'm around Jews. Rav Bulman said back, if you don't want to be over on Sirtzach, then keep your kids here. If you want to be over on Sirtzach, keep your kids here. You're going to kill your kids at those ages. RBSA. RBS has the highest rate. Rabbi, I wrote a note to myself. I forgot to mention yesterday. Ramat Bet Shemesh has the highest rate, they say, of off the derech kids. And if you don't believe it, you come here on Friday night and you'll see literally hundreds of kids on what? Kids? No, not Motti Shaya. So before you do anything, you have to put in perspective what you're going up against. This is by your father, Belsky. Good Moed. How are you? As you know, I'm watching the Shiur since Tainus. I watched then the first time and never left. I got my son Motti and Zev to watch, and some of these watch together. Thank you for the shout outs and the new chairs. I'm glad about the new chairs, and you guests are enjoying the seating, the greatest chairs. Today, Rabbi Sai, how do you find these chairs? Chair.com. Over here it says abe@princeseating.com. Versteh nicht the stira, but as is. I left his email. Usually I don't leave emails in, but over here, if you want to reach him for seats, for chairs, the best ones. My two sons. Today's the art side of my third son, Simcha Beryl David. Please dedicate today's learning, his memories. The Neshama should have an aliyah. We reserved rooms for the weekend in New York. Rabbi Isai, people are reserving. If you want to get to meet Belsky and Motti Belsky live, come to the Shabbaton. Thank you for being in the greatest Ma'aretz Torah. Thank you and good night. Motti, I have one question for you. Has the cheer changed your father's life? I don't know if you're privileged to say, but maybe in what way? He definitely loves to talk about it. Okay.
More to talk about the share.
What?
Something more to talk about the share. Like,
okay, good.
So
what was he talking about beforehand? Sports. No,
it's about the share. Before he talked about you, now he talks about the share. So.
I don't have a screen now, by the way.
I'm the uncle.
Oh, Shalom Aleichem, uncle. Yeah. All he talks about. We don't hear you. Nobody's gonna hear. Avram Belsky, that's all he talks about, okay? Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. He learns every day now. It changes his life. Givaldic. Okay, good to hear. Where is he? How come he's not here? Whatever. I got it. Okay, we miss him. Tell him we miss him. Okay. So, Rabbi Sai. The Masechta is sponsored by Lak, and I want to say that the Belskys offered to sponsor breakfast today. Leiluy Nishmas, their brother. I told them it's already taken. Belsky has a chazak already. This is his third year, but Yishkoyach for the thought, and they gave a nice donation for the day anyway. So Yishkoyach Gadol. I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming whatever. Lak and Loving families, Lakewood, New Jersey, because torah and achdus are the best segula, paras chodesh, as a zchut, that a family should be blessed with health, simcha and nachas. 120. Paras Chodesh, Hatzlocha Zchut, Yosef Meir ben Rochel, Amen. Paras Chodesh. Elan Chaim Golan, Leiluy nishmat, Batsheva Chaya bat Miriam. Paras Chodesh, Leiluy nishmat Zechariah ben Moshe. Paras Chodesh, Leiluy nishmat Chaya bas Yosef. Paras Yomi. Shani and Motti Belsky, Lezech nishmat, Simcha Beryl David, Olav Shalom, Ben Avram, Moshe Belsky. Everybody should know his name because it's on every single chair in the Beis Medrash. Whose 50th yard site is today a young guy who's nifter in America. brain intact, unleash your full potential. Tremendous success in all my endeavors. The third Parnas Hayoim, Leiluy nishmat our father, Reb Doiv, Reb Shimon Zechel, Zechron Lerocha, Yudches Tishrei. And the art is sponsored Yosef ben Chaya Sarah for all the schusim that come from supporting them at Torah Raboisai. We're getting very, very close to Simchas Torah. If you want a free chumash, I had it. I forgot to bring it in. It's over there somewhere. The anybody have over here the Shnai Mikra one? No. You can get one if you go to 2m1t.com. That's Shnai Mikra Echotargum. 2m1t.com. Or if that's too hard for you, what? 8min.com, whatever. That's harder for me. MDYShabbos.com for Raboisai to grab your rooms. There's only about 6 or 7 rooms left in the entire hotel. Nah, I'm just kidding. Halavai. Let me turn this on so I don't go over. No, because we had an issue yesterday that people weren't eating for 72 minutes, and some people made a macha. So eat. They started benching without a zimon. They came. They yelled at me. Okay. Rabbi Isai, today we have 2 sugyas, 2 new concepts that we haven't had before. We're talking about the sugya of kol she'ein b'zachar zeh einoi b'vasachas, and a sugya of Kiddushin sheli nimseru l'bia. So the first sugya we had in the Mishnah that if a person is mekadesh 2 of his, I was going to show this, but I spilled a bunch of water on it. Let me show it real quickly. Yishkot Yossi Sounders who made Aliyah and doesn't care about his children. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. He's going to take out the front cover of the newspaper that he does in London and Manchester, Yishkoyach. So, the sugya is about a person who's mekadesh 2 sisters. And one pshat that we had yesterday, based on a pasuk, Rami Bar Chama, it says, "V'ishal achoysa lisikach litzrar." So he learned the pasuk is talking about 2 sisters in one shot. He's mekadesh both. Rava says it's impossible. You can't be mekadesh 2 sisters at once. You wouldn't be chayav kares. The Kiddushin is not typhus. Must be that he's mekadesh 1, and then the next day another one, and like that you get kares. And the Torah says, if you cannot be mekadesh one after another, so certainly you can't be mekadesh together. That's what we're going to be discussing now. So says the Gemara, Gufa, Omer Rabba, Kol she'einoi b'zachar zeh, if you cannot do a certain thing one after another, afilu b'vasachas einoi, so then you can't do it together. So in our case, you can't marry one sister and then marry another one, because the Torah says you can't marry 2 sisters. So you cannot marry the 2 of them together at the same shot. And that's what the pasuk is telling us. But the pasuk is talking about one after another. And now, Tzaddik, we can hear you. Oh, he's trying to tell his friend how to get here. Doesn't hear me. Okay, so the Gemara is going to ask a few questions about this bevasachas. We have different cases, and of course it's going to bring us through Shas, different halachas in Shas, beautiful stuff. By the way, we're on Daf Nun Aleph Amud Aleph, which means that we're 50 daf into Kiddushin. You hear, Motti? 50 daf from the time that you sponsored the Gemara Be'emes. 50 daf. Huh? No, Mashiach, no. Very nice. Hamar be'maiser. This might be a chiddush to everybody. So let me just show you. We're learning the sugya of kol she'eni b'zachazeh, eni b'vasachas. Now, a lot of people already know what trumas and meiser are, so I'm going to show you what it used to look like. I'm not going to go through the whole animation. But if a person has produce, he takes 1%, 2%, minat Torah, he can take 1 kernel. Let's say he takes out 1%. Then he has to take 10% meiser. What happens if he wants to be a big tzaddik and take 20% and give it to the Levi? Does it work? What does everybody think? It should work. Why not? We're going to learn a big chiddush right now. If you just came for this chiddush, it doesn't work. You're not allowed to. It's usher to give more. So let me ask you, if it's usher to give more, how in the world do you give meiser? Well, you have to sit there with a scale. So I guess the Torah wasn't given to Malach HaSharas. You give be'erach. But to go ahead and deliberately give 20% instead of 10%, usher, doesn't work. He gave too much. Instead of giving 10%, he gave 20. Instead of giving 10 apples, he gave 20 apples. So he was yoyt to the meiser on all the 90 apples that are left. He could eat the 90. The 20 apples that he gave, we don't know what's meiser and what's not meiser. Now, part of those 20 apples are not. Who is that? Yo, get over here! Wow, guest. Yo, Reifer from Chicago. Beautiful. So, take some food, sit down, have a seat. I've been trying to convince you to come to this shiur for how many years? Finally. That's what. Benny, how many years did I try to get you to come to this shiur? How long? I know you're here. How many years was it?
7.
No, Bemis.
Before it started.
Like 5-6 years I tried to convince you. And now you're here. Don't ever, altis yayish. Just keep on going. I used to ask him, come out every day. And now, it's unbelievable. Okay. Va'amai, Neima. So again, to the Meisers, you have 20 apples here. Only 10 should have been Meiser, but you gave 20. So that whole thing, that whole pile is Mekulka because the 10 out of the 20 are not Meiser. If I cannot take 10% and then another 10%, so then I can't take 20%. You just told me. If you can't do it one after another, you can't take 10% and then another 10%. It wouldn't work at all. So then even if I take 20, how did it work that I could eat all the fruit? I shouldn't be able to eat any of the fruit. I have to start all over. Just today in Chakras, there was a big shaila in Eretz Yisrael. According to the Golan, you say a special Shiur Shayim. You don't say, Yom Revi. So according to the Golan, you say a certain. It turns out that it happens to be Yom Revi, but only half, from Pasuk to Zayin and on. The whole thing in the shul, they didn't know where to start. So Dave Sharfman said, he screamed out, he said, just say the whole thing, what's the big deal? I said, no. It's not bezach. You can't, if you can't add, it's smart bib maestros. It's usher. It's usher to add. Just like the isser to add Daf Yomi, right? You can't go do 2 daf in one day. It's also one of the big isurim. Huh? You're allowed to do, no, of course not. But you have to get all the way be'erech to the last word. As long as you read it, Amud Beis fast, then you write it. Fine. Meiser works different. I can take one kernel or one apple and say this apple, half of it is meiser, half of it is not. And when I took 20 apples. So what happened was, it's not pshat that 10 apples are meiser and 10 apples are not meiser. The pshat is that 20 apples, half of them are meiser. If I took 30 apples out, so a third of each apple will be meiser. That's the problem. And that's why I can't eat from each apple. Because part of each apple doesn't have any meiser, trums and meisers on it at all. But when it comes to 2 sisters, you can't be mekadosh half a sister. So Mela, who says it should work? Ask the Gemara. The Omar Tiskadish Shani Maiz Diesel Chatzoyim. The Omar Tiskadish Palgo, the Chitza, if I say a half a kernel, Kacha, it works. Now we're going to go to the next case. Vari Meiser Behema. So it says like this in the Pasuk. V'chol Maaser Bokor V'tzoyin Kol Asher Yaver Tachas HaShovet Ha'asiri Yekodesh L'Hashem. Remember, we just had a sugya that he had 120,000 animals that were Meiser. Reb Elchanan Pressman. He had 100, no, how many did he have? 12,000 that were Meiser, which means that he had 120,000 animals that were born. Reb Elchanan Pressman. So it works like this. Here's a new and improved Meiser Behemoth chart. A guy has a bunch of animals. So how do you know which one is the 10th animal that should be Meiser? You go like this. Check out the screen. One goes out, 2, and he says 3. You see him saying 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then finally, oops, I think I just ruined it.
Yeah.
Oh no. I don't know when to click, when not to click. Sorry. I missed the whole point. 9, and when the 10th one comes out, here comes 10, boom! He gives him red dye, and that's the 10th. So now here's the shaila. He didn't put this in Yoshi. I stole this from Nazir. What happens if he messes up? Oh no. Goes through the whole thing again? Yeah. Okay. So what happens is he has 8 animals come out. And number 9, he calls 10. And number 10, he calls 9. And number 11, he calls 10. So what's the... Here we are. You ready, guys? This is Kar Lachi Asiri. He says 10, but it's really 9. That becomes Kaddish. And then number 10, he messes up. He tries to fix it. How do you say? He tries to rectify. There's a better. No, he tries to. How do you say? Fix whatever. Not rectify. That's not what I mean. Oh, compensate is the better word. That's what I was looking. He's trying to compensate, and he messes up, and he calls the 10th 9, and then he calls the 11th 10. So what actually happened? If you look at this chart, number 9 and number 11, he called 10. So those become Kaddish. Number 10, he called 9. So it doesn't matter, it's Kaddish anyways because it's 10. So we have a situation that all 3 are Kaddish. Okay? What if, now, one thing we got to say, this is Pashat. If he called the 10th one Asiri, like he was supposed to, and then he called the 11th one Asiri, what happens? Again, when the 10th one came out, he said Eser. He did what he's supposed to do. Then 11 came out, and he called it 10. What's the halacha? Nothing. Because it's over. Once he did 10, it's over. Now this count starts again. 10 is good. I'm talking about the 11. 11 is nothing. But when he messes up and he calls 10, 9, and then 11, 10, that's when you have a problem. So what happens? We have 2 come out at the 10th, and he calls both of them Asiri. So the Gemara says, Asiri v'achadas amurovim zebozeh. You have 2 that are mixed up. In other words, number 11 is really shlamim, number 10 is 10, and we don't know which one is what. So we're makbid, and we say, we're machmer, we say each one is like a shlamim, each one is like a meiser, and whatever the chumras are. By the way, meiser, the halach is you bring it to the Beis Hamikdash, you shecht it, and the owner gets to eat the whole thing. Shlamim is a little bit more chomer. Shlamim, part goes to the kohen, part goes to the bailam. Meiser, the whole thing goes to the bailam. So now I have a mixture, so you do all the chumras. So the shaila is, if it's bezacher zeh, if you do number 10, you call it 10. Then you call number 11 10, you were saying it doesn't work. So bezacher zeh does not work. So why bevasachas should be a problem? You just said, kol she'eni bezacher zeh. If you can't do one after another, you can't do 10 and 11. So why, if they come out together, you're saying it's bevasachas? Says Gemara, Shani ma'aseh behema, the ise betos. Ma'aseh behema you could do by mistake, and that's the chart that I showed you in the beginning. That a person can make a mistake and make 3 as a mistake. Now, there's a ma'aseh where a guy taught his son-in-law that on Shabbos when you eat shom, you eat kugel, you're supposed to say, "How you doing?" See that guy over there? He's Leslie's best friend, all the way from America. Wow, I don't want to invite him. So, Belsky, Reifer. Anyway, so a guy was eating by his shver, and his shver tells him, listen, every time you take a spoonful of cholent, you say, Hareini oichel chvoid Shabbos kodesh, v'loy l'chvoid bitni. Chas v'sholom, it should be l'kovet Shabbos kodesh, not for my stomach. And he keeps on repeating it, and he says, no, you should try to be makbid in this. So the son-in-law takes a piece of kishka, and he says, Hareini oichel l'chvoid bitni, v'loy l'chvoid Shabbos kodesh. So she says, what are you doing? It's toast. Mam's a mistake. He says, it might be a mistake, but it's for sure not a lie. Okay. So, the guy made a mistake. If he makes a mistake, all 3 are Kaddish. This is not. Karlachi Asiri Lasiri Chi. He called the 9th sheep a 10, and he called the 10th one she a 9 because he's trying to compensate. L'chadas Asiri is completely, it's a flying over here. He doesn't know what's flying. He's calling everyone the wrong number. Shloshta Mekudashin. So that's a special halacha that applies to Meiser Behema. It doesn't work by sisters. No right. Ask the Gemara, Harei Toida. Yeah. What are you talking about? How many Mirano is by what? No, how many Mirano is by something else. What's how many Mirano? By what? Yeah, by Tmura, yeah. All right. Zog the Gemara. Toida. A person had a big nace. Let's say he was in a big car accident or something. So today we do an aliyah, you say gaimel. In those days, we don't have it. They had the Beis Hamikdash, you bring a carbon taida, and together the carbon taida, you bring 40 breads. 40 breads in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, the breads that you bring to the Beis Hamikdash are equal to like 100 loaves of bread that we have today. So everybody asks, how are you going to eat 100 breads? And the simple answer is, because when you bring a taida, you want to involve all your friends, you want to give to your friends. Another pshat is, because you want to be mefarsim the nace. A person had a nace, he doesn't want to do it by himself privately, so he has 100 breads and you have to eat it within a day. You only have one day and a night. So you have to bring all your friends, and by bringing all the friends, besides the chesed, but you're being mefarsim the big nace that happened to you. I'll call upon him. This guy, it's not enough that he has 40. He brings 80, 200 loaves of bread. Gemara says, no, so over here right away we have the question. 40 out of 80 is good. But you just said, we know that if a person brings 40 loaves of bread, and then he brings another 40 loaves of bread, obviously it's not going to work. It's bizarre chazeh, doesn't work. But together, if he brings them together, you're saying it does work. Now, what happens to be the Chizkiah, Rashi brings down, is Reb Elchanan's Rebbe. Now, I'm telling it to you because tomorrow I'm going to forget this concept, but you, Be'ez Hashem, you'll have it in your brain. Chizkiah is Reb Elchanan's Rebbe. Reb Elchanan, he argues on his Rebbe, nothing. No, so you see that the Chizkiah doesn't, it's not a joke, it's Reb Elchanan's Rebbe. He holds there is bivasachas, even though it's einu b'zachar. Says Gemara, Lavit Ma'ala, Amr Bishon ben Levi, Hakol Moed. No, as we explained over there, if a person says mefurish, I want 40 out of 80, it's good, it works. But if he says I want all 80 to be kadosh, everybody agrees no machlokes loikachi. What's a machlokes elbistam? Once we understand what the machlokes is, we don't have a raya from here. The what? Why is he bringing 80 breads? Not because he's trying to be large, because he's worried that 40 out of the 80 are going to be moldy, there's going to be a bird's eye from them, whatever it is. So he brings extra. But it's not pshat he's trying to be mekadesh 80. He only wants to have Kiddushin on 40. It's just a guarantee on the Chrayos. And Rabbi Yochanan, who holds that it doesn't work, is because he believes that he's trying to bring 80, and Memela, it doesn't work. Fine. So now, we're going on to a new sugya. We just said the reason why a person cannot marry two sisters, according to Rava, is because you cannot marry one after another, so therefore you can't marry them together. It's be'enoi b'zachazeh, and therefore it's not b'vasachas. Ask the Gemara, V'Rava, lama leili shanui kirava. Why does he have to say Rabbi's pshat? Teipuk Kiddushin she'misurim lebiyaninu. There's a concept. And here there's a new sugya, so remember this. Any Kiddushin that you can't have relations with the woman, it's not a Kiddushin, it's not a good marriage. We even brought it down the other day where a Ma'aseh Chaya, the Rishonim talk about it, it's brought down in the tour, that a person knew that this woman is going to die. He brings her in a wheelchair into the chuppah, and he wants to inherit her. So they said, no, it doesn't work. Why? Because it's not Nimsa L'Biyah. She's not capable. Fine. So I asked the Gemara, when you are Mekadesh two sisters, since each one is Achois Isha, each one has an Issa D'Oraisa, so they're Asr B'Biyah. Asr B'Biyah means that there's no Kiddushin. The Kiddushin shouldn't be Chal at all. Shouldn't be Taifas. Now we're going to understand better what this concept of Kiddushin Shalim and B'Biyah is. Says the Gemara, you're right. Rava could have said that. The Dvara of the Rami Bar Chama come. Rami Bar Chama brought a pasuk. Vishala Choisel Isikach Litzrar. Says Rava, you didn't understand Pshat in the pasuk. Rami Bar Chama tried to say that the pasuk is talking about a person that's marrying two sisters at the same exact second. So Rava tells him, no, the pasuk is not talking about that. The pasuk is talking about B'zeh Achar Zeh. It's talking about one after another. And you still are wrong because you're right. I could go with another pshat that's Kiddushin Shalinim Tzurubiyah, and it doesn't work anyway. Itma. Kiddushin, I'll just tell you this because we're in the sukkah. And yesterday, I wanted to tell you this, but we were running late. So it started raining yesterday, and we're thinking about, do we have to leave the sukkah, not leave the sukkah? So there was a bacher who was sleeping in the sukkah, and his father tried to get him over shachris. Now, anybody that has teenage boys knows the struggle. Anybody that was a teenager knows the struggle. He tried to wake him up. So the boy was annoyed at his father. He says, Tata, is it a mitzvah to sleep in the sukkah? He says, yeah. Is it a derabanan deraisa? He says, deraisa. He says, no. So what do you want from me? You want me to not be mekayim deraisa and go to shul and daven derabanan? So the father gave him such a smack across the face and told him, now you're mitzvah. So now you're potter, go to shul. Okay, fine. The whole thing is a joke because part of the tefillah obviously is deraisa, and that kind of mitzvah is not what we're talking about, but okay. So the Gemara. Huh? 9 months later, he went off the derech. He became the head of the group on Friday night over there. Yeah. Itmar, Kiddushin Shem Mesurim Lebio, Abaya Omar have Kiddushin. So we have the Machloikis, Abaya and Rava. If it's impossible to have relations, Abaye says it's a good Kiddushin, it chaps. Whatever you do afterwards, it's your problem. But she needs a get. Rava Amar have Kiddushin doesn't even start, doesn't begin. Omar Rava Barahina Asberli. Barahina explained it to me. Kika Chishisho, Rashi goes out of his way to say it's the name of a person. Okay, so in case you didn't know, Barahina is the name of an Amoira that explained it to Rava. Kika Chishisho Ba'ala, and we learn Kicha Kicham is the Ephraim that this is how you mekadosh a woman. You mekadosh a woman with money, but it only works that Kiddushin with money is if you have the end of the pasuk Uba'ala. Kiddushin, I'm Surim Lebiyo, I have a Kiddushin, Kiddushin, Surim Lebiyo, I have a Kiddushin. Tanan, so go back to our Mishnah. I'm mekadosh Isha Ubita, O Isha V'achoysa Ka'achas, Eino Mikudoshes. If a person tries to marry two sisters, or a mother and a daughter, no Kiddushin. But Mashma says the Gemara, Ha'achas Mi Isha Ubita, O Mi Isha V'achoysa Mikudoshes. If a person tries to marry, oh, beautiful. No, the reason I'm saying beautiful is because, not this. I did this. I just sent this in the middle of the night. I sent this to Yoshi. I said, do something please with this. So he did this for me. Okay, I think it's a little nicer. There's a Reisha and a Seifa. We're holding the Reisha. From the Reisha is mashma like a baya. The Seifa is mashma like Rava. That what? It says over here that if a person mekadosh both sisters, it doesn't work. Mashma, if he's mekadosh one sister, but he doesn't know which one. He has two sisters. He dropped a ring. One of them grabbed it. There's a confusion. He doesn't know which one. It's mashma mekudesh. It's only because he's mekadosh two rings, two sisters, not mekudesh. What is that called? Kiddushin shloim nimtzu lebiyah. He can't marry either one now. Since there's a confusion, what if this one is the sister of the one he already married? It's also. So Mela, it's a big problem to Rava. From the Diuk is a problem, Rava. If he does one of the two, to the Rava, it's a good kasha. The Reish is a kasha on Rava. Let me ask you a different question. Yeah? That's what a Jew does. You don't have a good answer, you ask a question. Our Mishnah, there's a story. There's 5 women, and between the 5 women, 2 of them were sisters. We're going to learn about it tomorrow, exactly what's going on here. He took a basket of figs, the Shlema was their figs, the Shvis it wasn't really theirs because of Shemitah. And he tried to be mekadosh all of them with one basket of figs. The problem is that 2 sisters, you can't be mekadosh. Says the Gemara, but you can be medayik achoysu name mekudoshes. Out of the 5, 2 don't work. Hanachri is mekudoshes. The 3 out of the 5 should be mekudosh. As Rav Echidami, Ilay Medam Kulchem. If he said all 5 of you, then it's kni at v'chamarhu. Oh, ishmak. Another musug in Shas. Not that you have to remember this. I'm not sure that's brought down very many times. Kni at v'chamar means. Rashi says that you try to make a kinyan to uber, to a fetus. Everybody knows that a fetus cannot make a kinyan. So if you tell somebody, take this pizza pie, half is yours, half is the fetus, or half is a chamar. A chamar also can't make a kinyan. So what's the halacha? Neither of them are kaina. Why? because if one of them can't be kaina, I wanted both of you to be kaina. On condition that both of you are kaina. But a fetus can't be kaina, so neither of you are kaina. If I try to give you an chamar or something, both of you are not kaina. By the way, there's a Magid Daf Yomi Magid who asked the Chaver and the Shiur, how do you know this idea that kniyat v'chamor doesn't work? Where do you see it in Shas? No? Anybody? Let's see if you guys are as smart as those guys from that Shiur. No, huh? We just learned, we brought it in yesterday's mission, we just spoke about it. If a person tries to be Kaddish, a woman, and the mother-in-law, it doesn't work. So you see, kniyat v'chamor, it doesn't work. Fine. Michael, I was joking. That was a joke. Don't. Yeah, Dr. Factor would love it. Where's Dr. Factor? Huh? Where's my figure? Oh, Dr. Factor's here. Shalom Aleichem. It was a good one. Yeah, you are there, Dr. Factor. Wow, unbelievable. With the stethoscope, everything. Givaldi.
He's pointing to the rabbi.
Very good. Zok Gemara. So anyways, so what's going on here? If a person is trying to mekadesh 5 women, wait, look at that tzaddik. That's the guy, no? Why? Bring him inside. That guy that's right by Nehemiah, the guy's running away. I think he was here in my sukkah 2 nights ago and I convinced him to come. This is going to be his first day, the day I changed his life. Not you, that other guy. You're also, both of you. It's the day your life changed by learning Torah. Come, bring him in. I don't know. Huh? Okay, anyway, you hear the Shaila? A person tries to be Mekadesh 5 women. 2 of the women are sisters. If I cannot be Mekadesh 2 sisters, it's like I'm trying to sell something to a fetus. If it doesn't work for the sisters, it shouldn't work for any of them. It's mashman our mission that it works for 3 out of the 5. We're turning to Daf Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Elolav do'amelu achas mikem. No, it must be that he said, I want to be Mekadesh 1 out of the 2. Nevertheless, 1 out of the 2 is not Mekudesh. So, why? Now, here's the problem. You, Abaya, say that Kiddushin shaloi nimsur lebia, Kiddushin that it's impossible to have relations, is a good Kiddushin. Why in this case? If I only wanted to marry 1 out of the 2 sisters, if it's 2 sisters, it's impossible because it's Kniyat v'chamar. So it must be meant 3 women and 1 out of the 2 sisters. But nevertheless, it's still a problem because 1 out of the 2 sisters is not Kiddushin shenim l'bia, since I don't know which one of the 2. And if I pick 1, maybe it's the sister of the one that's really married to me, and that's Kiddushin shenim l'bia. It's also. So maybe the Seifa is a problem to Abaya, and the Reish is a problem to Rava. The only way out of this is to add some words here. In other words, explanation, which the Gemara calls words, and then both of them get out of this issue. We just turned to now from base for all those in need of Refuah Shlema, and by innovations in honor of my uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman, and as a zchut for a year filled with mazel, bracha, Hatzlocha, and parnasa b'revach for all of the MDY family. Shkoyach. Zok the Gemara. L'Rava Kasha Reisha, as you can see on the chart, the Reisha seems like a Baya. It's a Kasha Rava. La Baya Kasha Seifa. If you make these diyukim, the Seifa seems like Rava, not like a Baya. Says Gemara, Baya Mataris Tamei, Rava Mataris Tamei. Each one is going to explain it their way. That what? You just add a few words. Baya Mataris Tamei. I'm a Kaddish Isho Bito Isha Chayis Kachazinim Kedoshis. That's in the Mishnah. You try to get him married to 2 sisters, doesn't work. Ha Achaz Misho Bito Misha Chayis Kedoshis. But if you try to get married to one of them, it does work. Vim Omar, here's Abaya's adding now a bunch of words. Vim Omar Harui be at this Kaddishli, and if he's the pshat in adding words means it's so obvious from the story that this is what happened, but we have to explain it. Vim Omar really be at this Kaddishli, and if he said I'm only want to marry whoever I could marry and I could have relations with, why? I'll prove it to you. That's why the continuation of the Mishnah says the story of the 5 women and 2 sisters. And now here he adds more words. I'm trying to marry the one that I could be with. It doesn't work. Fine. Whatever. This is a Rashi here, fine. The Mishnah is talking about if a person tries to be Mekadesh one out of the two, that's what he sticks in, one out of the two. Nasa Kimi, this is Mamish added words. Nasa also, Achas is also added, but also Nasa Kimi, then it's like as if he was trying to be Mekadesh two. Even one out of the two doesn't work because it's like as if you Mekadesh two sisters. The Mishnah brings down the story. They try to be Mekadesh five. Rashi just says over here, very interesting. We should probably see it inside. Where's this Rashi? Rashi says there's no kniat v'chamar. Oh, there's a lamdash of Rashi here. Like 5 lines down. This is not atzachamar. Why? The reason why 2 sisters you can't get married to, mishum sveiku. There's only because of suffix. Over here we have a technical problem. We don't know who is mekadesh, and if he would have known, it would work. It does work. He wants to know why the other 3 become a Kiddush. It shouldn't this be a case of Kniyat v'chamar, that if it doesn't work for the sisters, it shouldn't work for the 3. No, it does work for the 3. Why? Because over here it's just, you don't know which one you're Mekadesh. Fine. Ayin Shom. Says the Gemara, Toshma. I need to know, is Kiddushin Shem, Misurim Libiyah, Kiddushin, right? A lot of people are hot now. So this is a Shiloh Mitzvah, not Mitzvah. We're going to be done soon. Okay. How much time do we have left? What? No. Started a half hour ago. So that's why I can't go. I can't rely on your clock anymore. Do you see this? I started the clock. I have. It didn't include the emails. Okay, fine. You're right. Don't tell me an hour. There's a big difference between an hour. This is mamish the sugya of. First of all, it's kniyat v'chamor. So that's one problem. Since part of what you just said is garbage, I can't believe anything you say. But also, it's b'zach hazeh. You try to add another half hour to my half hour. It's all fine. It's all the problems together. Tashma. Hamekadish is bitoy stam. What, you're gonna knock this out?
Check this out. I mean, I removed 10 minutes yesterday.
No, you didn't. Which 10 minutes?
10 minutes. It was blank screens. It was waiting around.
That part you can take out, but this fun part, this is the best part of this year. Tashma. Hamekadish is bitoy stam in abroigis b'chlal. Okay. Again, Kiddushin she'enam misurim libiyah. If I don't know who my wife is, it could be one of these 10 people. Then it's not a good marriage. So, or it is. We have machlokes Rav and Rabaya. So what was the story? A person has a few daughters. He says, I'm Mekadesh one of them. Obviously, he has no control over his adult daughters, so those are not included. But if he has a bunch of younger daughters, it's good. Let's say he has 2 daughters that are below the age of 12. One is Rochel, one is Leah. Could he marry Leah? No, because maybe Rochel is his real wife, and now Leah is Achos Isha. He can't marry either one of them. So it's Kiddushin, so it should be a problem. With Yif to the Rava, it's a bomb question on Rava. And this is, no, not this. No, he only has 2 daughters. And therefore, it's not the older one, so it must be the younger one. It says, first of all, I have one problem. It says plural. He has a bunch of older daughters. So no, my boiger is the Alma. The Gemara is telling us that all fathers in the world, leave your older daughters alone. You have no rishus over them. You can't marry. Anybody has an older daughter, they have no schus on their older daughter. That's what it means. So what's the big chiddush? Guy has 2 daughters. One he has no control over, and one of them he has control over. And he's mekadesh one of them. Duh. Of course it was the younger one. It can't be the older one. So what's the chiddush? So the Gemara Ma'askina, it's not a duh. The Shavit Shliach. She said, marry me off. Mao the same. Who? The older one. Oh. So what happened was, listen to this crazy story. He has a daughter that's in the shidduch crisis. He hasn't been married in a very long time. Or she never got married. And it's going rough. So she says, listen, go out there and find me a chassan quick. He says, anybody. I trust you 100%. Then comes along a guy, perfect shidduch, and he accepts Kiddushin. Says the Gemara, oh, you think that he's gonna do her a favor and he has a 40-year-old daughter he wants to marry off, he's gonna marry her. No, he married off his 11-year-old. You know why? Because when he marries off his 11-year-old, he gets to keep the ring. And all he cares about is money. To swear like that, of course, nobody wants to marry her. So then, Mao the same, she sent him to be a shliach. It's unbelievable. I think the Gemara is telling us human nature. That a person would do anything for the dollar, including not marrying off his 40-year-old daughter. As long as he gets the ring, he's happy. So a lot of people say to themselves, what a meshugana. Why is the Gemara talking about meshuganim like that? But I know a lot of people that for $1, they sell the neshama. Forget the daughter. They sell the neshama. Just a little trick in business, a little lie this way. The guy's not going to chab, and I'm going to tell him this and that. Plenty of people do this. Why? To make $1. Anything for $1. But it's a pelletic thing. The Gemara says this is human nature. That we have to be chayshish that he wants to make money. He's blinded by the money and doesn't care about his own daughter who made him a shliach. Miloy askino, it says the Gemara, Darmele Kiddushin lididach. Oh, she chapped already, this guy. She chapped who her father is. She knows that he's going to sell her. He's going to be Mekaz to the daughter. See, she says, you know what? You, the 40-year-old says, if you find me a good shidduch, keep the ring for yourself. Isn't it even that case? Says Gemara Filachi, L'shavik Inish, mitzvah the Rami Alev, mitzvah the Rami Alev. No, he's a fruma guy. He's a fruma meshugana. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah for me to Mekadosh my 11-year-old. It's not a mitzvah for Mekadosh the 40-year-old. So anyways, the Gemara says, mamish the opposite of what we say today. Today, everybody's busy marrying off their older daughters. We don't have a chiyuv. That's not our chiyuv. The mitzvah is in the younger ones, not the older ones. Tashma, mishesh lo yishtei kitei banos b'shtei nashim. A person was married twice. He has older daughters from this first marriage, and he has younger daughters from his second marriage. And he says, I don't remember what, he just throws out a word. I know she was the older one. I don't recall from what marriage, which set of girls. So don't worry, we have a picture here. Oh, first of all, here's the pasuk, I brought it down, Givaldik. This is a pasuk in Yirmiyah. If there's a mitzvah, there's a mitzvah to marry your daughter. But that's if she's a ktana, not if she's a gdoila. Anyway, here's the story. You see Reb Elchanan, this man was married to the woman on the left first. Then let's say she died. So he married another woman. In other words, the two daughters that he has from the woman on the right, both Yerushalmi, Mamish, Givaldik, who Yossi Sanders told me that he was walking somewhere here and he saw a woman, a Yerushalmi lady, with a cell phone in her tichel stock, and he started laughing because it reminded him of, where do we even have her here? Yivama somewhere. Oh, here, this lady right here. She's a little bit. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of people that didn't have the humor behind it. But anyway, yeah, there are people walking around like that. It's the best hands-free set in Eretz Yisrael. So it says like this. Here we have. He has two daughters. Now he doesn't know, you see this one blinking? He doesn't know if he meant the oldest of the oldest group or the oldest in the younger group. He has two daughters that are younger, but there's one that's older than the other. Or perhaps he meant even the one all the way to the left. She's the youngest in the older group, but she's older than the other two girls. One thing's for sure. He did not mean the youngest of the youngest. So each one is a problem, because if I marry any one of these three girls, is a sister of the other one. Even the one all the way to the right is a sister to the ones on the left. She has the same father. So Mamela, she cannot get married. What is that called? That's called Kiddushin Shleinim Sur Labia. Kulan Asura is Chutz Mektanois Mektanois Divir Meir. Oh, so over here is a raya that Kiddushin Shleinim Sur Labia. Oh, so over here you have a raya what? L'chayra, I think. Is not okay. And that's like Rava. No. Says Abaye Achim Aiskinon Kishihukru Ulbesoif Nisarvu. Okay, so that's a good teretz that we'll use a bunch. That what? That at one point in time it was a good kiddushin because the father knew exactly who he was marrying off. Now with dementia, whatever it is, he forgot which daughter. He remembers. He said he doesn't remember which one. So in Mela, it is a kiddushin shinim sirul bia. Why? Because at the time of kiddushin, he knew exactly what's going on. Daikenami, and I'll prove it to you. Diktani any idea. The father doesn't know. It's not that kiddushin was thrown into a pile over here and we don't know, and there was one of those svekis. No, the father once upon a time knew. Shmamina. What's the big chiddush? That a person doesn't go into a suffix. He said gdoila. He meant the oldest of the old. He didn't mean to ever get himself into some sort of suffix that one day he's not going to know what to do with it. When he said gdoila, he meant the oldest, and that's the end of the story. I don't think that's a person doesn't put himself in the suffix. A person could talk stupidity and put himself in the suffix. Tashma. Now, boys, here's a beautiful Yavamis chart. Let me just show you real quickly. This, we have Rishos from our scroll to use this, and our scroll did a phenomenal job, and they always do a phenomenal job in everything they do. But I want to show you what Yoshi did instead of the black and white squares. And this is what he did. I'll make the sugi a lot easier. There's two sisters, but this is nothing. This is the easy case. Wait until it gets to the complicated case, which is also very, very easy. Here's Noam, who I saw before. This guy looks like Noam. He did Kiddushin to two women. And they happen to be sisters. What's the halacha? The halacha is, we just said, it's a problem, right? But we don't know which sister he did Kiddushin to, which not, first, second. So he must give both of them a get. By the way, I found my get, if you want to see what it looks like. If you're new to Kiddushin, this is a real get. Okay, no, this is not. Trust me, she saw it. When she burns my food, I pull it out. Okay. So, it's a real get, but different names. It says Donald on it. All right. So, he has to give both of them a get. Next. Toshma. Is a kiddush. Nois and get lezu, get lezu. Why? Okay. Oh, sorry. So how is it possible that he married two women? The Kiddushin Shloim Sur Lebia. He got engaged to one of them, and at one specific time he knew exactly who she was. So let's do the case again. He got engaged not to two. He got engaged to one. One out of the two. Is this? I'm in the wrong case here. He doesn't know if it's to the right or to the left. It's a shaila. You see the question mark shaila. But the problem is Kiddushin Shloim Sur Lebia. You see over here, the Kiddushin Shloim Sur Lebia does work, and that's why it's to give a get to each one. Says the Gemara, no, at one specific time, no. He knew exactly, let's say it was the one to the right. Later on, they look very similar. The twins, he got mixed up. He doesn't know. It's not that the world doesn't know. He didn't know. What's the big chiddush? Seifetz Richelei. Oh, now we're getting into the Gishmak stuff. The zero chiddush in the beginning, the chiddush is in that end. Meis v'lo yacher echad. Here we go. So this guy, Ruvain, goes bye-bye, and he has a brother. So what should the brother do? You see what happens? The brother does chalitza to both. Why? Because let's say that the one he gives chalitza first is not a eshesach. It's not his brother's wife. So what is she? She's the sister of the one that was married to his brother, and that makes her what? An achois skuka. She's the sister of a woman who's zakuk, whose bond has a bond to the yavam. Now let's say he does chalitza to one and yibum to the other. Is that a problem? Yes. Why? Because now it's possible that she's the sister of a chalutza. Let's say the first one he did chalitza to was really his sister-in-law, his brother's wife. And he did chalitza. He's not allowed to marry the sister. Why? It's a choitz chalutza. And it's asim derabanan. Why is it asim derabanan? Because it looks like a choitz grusha. Fine. So that's a big chiddush. That's what we need to say. Again, another case. If he had two brothers, check this out. Rabbi say, very, very nice. Look at the screen. If this Reuven guy goes bye-bye, he got engaged to one of these women that are sisters. He doesn't know which one what. He goes bye-bye. So what do? The two brothers, this is what they do. One does chalitza. You see? He does chalitza first, not yibum. And then chalitza, but chalitza first. And then the second one is allowed to do yibum to the other one. Why? Because mimanavshach. If Shim got rid of the Yavama, the one on the left, so he got rid of her. And now the guy on the right can marry the sister. Why? She's a chois chalutza, but it's a brother. She's not a chois chalutza. Very good. A chois chalutza is only you yourself are now allowed to marry the sister of the chalutza. But your brother is allowed to marry my brother's chalutza. And there's no zika between him and her. So let's say the guy on the left, the guy looks like Avi, he did chalitza to the wrong person. So it's the wrong person, it's 0. And now he's doing yibum to the right person, so it's gevaldik. So it works. You see how nice it is? It's right there. It's instead of black and white squares. It's unbelievable. Let's go back to the black and white squares for a second. This is the case. The black and white squares that we just did. Here, like this. Okay, I don't know. I think this is better. Oh, here comes the drone. Everybody wave to the drone. Fine. Oh, if they went ahead and they were miyabim, both of them were miyabim. Why? Because worst comes to worst is the Issa D'Rabbanan. One of them got the real Yavama, one of them got the Achois Skuka, and it's only Issa D'Rabbanan. Says the Gemara, we're just telling you a chiddush here. We're not going into any big sugyas. We're just saying a simple case. At the end of that Mishnah is the big chiddush over here. You do chalitza first, like I showed you, and then yibum. You can't do yibum, then chalitza. Because then it's possible that you're marrying the sister of the real yivama. Tashma. Another great case. Two men. Here, let's. Let me just see. Do we do the whole thing? One does chalitza, one does yibum. Great. Check this case out. You have two brothers on the right and two brothers on the left. They're not related. You see the two guys in the robes are not related to the two Baldwin brothers. Okay? And they both were Mekadesh, two sisters. Look what happened there. You see? There's Kiddushin going on everywhere. Two brothers Mekadesh, two sisters. Two brothers Mekadesh, two sisters. Great. Zeni day is a Kiddush, Zeni day is a Kiddush. Nobody knows what's flying here. These are all theoretical cases, but it never happened, obviously. But what if? Let's see what happens. No. I jumped it. Okay. So each one gives a get. So, but the problem is that they married women and they don't know who's who. Each one could be the sister of my own wife, and that's Kiddushin Shalonim Sirul Labiyah. It shouldn't be anything, you shouldn't need a get. But this is the third time we're saying this teretz. They knew exactly who their wife was at the time. Kiddushin was a good Kiddushin. Now there's a confusion. I'll prove it to you. The wording, it says the Chassan doesn't know, but the world does know. It's known over there. It's not that there was a real suffix in the world. What's the big Kiddush? Save it. Oh, this is the final case. Rabbi said very simple. Here we go. Two brothers married, gave Kiddushin to two sisters. In other words, there's 4 Kiddushins going on over here. But each one has a brother, you see? Reuven has a brother called Ari, I don't know, Avi. And the guy in the red robe has a brother with a blue robe. And they go, the two brothers that did the Kiddushin go bye-bye. So now what's the halacha? Each one should perform chalitza on both. However, check this out. Yeah, you see the chalitza? Each one does chalitza to both. Why? Because I don't know. I don't want to marry a choyt skuka. Or a choyt, yeah. But what if, here you check this out. One brother has 2 brothers. One brother only has 1 brother. The guy in the red robe only has 1 brother. But the Baldman brother has 2 other Baldman brothers. What's the halacha? So hold on, these 2 guys go bye-bye. The guy that's by himself, he has a problem. The same problem we had before, because maybe he's marrying Achois Chalutza, Achois Kuka. So Memela, the only option the single guy has is to give Chalitza to both. But the two brothers, and he does it first, but the two brothers, they have options similar to what we said before. No big chiddush here. Vashnayim, echad, choyletz, ve'echad, miyabim. You see what happens here? One does Chalitza, and one does Yibum. Beautiful. Why? The guy that's by himself has to do Chalitza. Why? Because it's Achois Kuka or Achois Chalutza. Now, he didn't do Yibum, so he does Chalitza first. That's the first step. One does Chalitza because Memarav Shach. Now he removes the Zika. If he did Chalitza to the right woman, so he removes all Zika, the other sister becomes 100% mutter to the guy in the black hat. Or, if he did Chalitza to the wrong woman, then the guy in the black hat is actually performing Yibum to the right woman. And that's the big chiddush here. Rabboisai, have a wonderful yontif. Tomorrow. Where am I?
Yeah, you're in the middle.
Sorry. Sorry. If the two brothers, the guy in the black hat and his brother, jump and marry both the sisters, there's only the Oiva and the Rabbanim for one time. That we explained is Chalitza first. To do Yibum and then afterwards Chalitza, you can't do Yibum first because maybe it's Yivama Lashuk. Rabbi Isai, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, same time, but in the Beis Medrash. Thursday, 10 o'clock, in the Sukkah, sponsored by MDY and a few other people. We have a sponsor. Sorry, we have a sponsor. But the rest is sponsored by MDY. It is sponsored by MDY. Rabbi Isai, what? Oh, benching. Rabbi Isai,